off, eh?
Would you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem? I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what?
That was really cool, by the way.
Am I getting through to you?
This man's obviously a lunatic. I'm calling security.
Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh? Why you dressed like that? Okay, you know, you guys aren't privy to all the new shit, so, you know, but, hey, that's what you pay me for.
All right, let's get this. We're about to get started. Hit the like, everybody, share the show. Whew. All right, we're up and live on Instagram. Substack is up. Very exciting. We get. Yes. I had a semi-fresh title, CSL. Let's see if I can just do it this way. All right, we've got to do something here. Yes, I know. All right. Yes. Whoa! What's the problem? Your shoes on too tight? Let's have some action. I want to see some asses wiggling. I want some perfection. Some perfection. Whoa! Oh, that's a little slow. Sorry. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Oh, boy, am I tired. It's going to show. I just know it. I'm just going to be relatively loopy, and that's fine. Still no success in the nap department today, so I am still running on fumes, and that's just how it's going to work out. What do you this is, I suppose, the closest I will ever do a show drunk, since I don't drink, so... Sleep deprivation is the best you're going to get for loopy, silly, slap-happy Hal. Yes. So I was just loading up my chat, and we're ready to go. And we are up on Substack, and we are up on Instagram. We are up on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and Kick and Rumble. Damn. I truly am Megaworldwide. It's the greatest live stream in the history of live stream. And I'm your host, Hal Sparks. I will be Hal Sparksing everything. Yeah, Instagram is, I think, up and running. Yes. Yep. IG's good. I'm doing it. I got it handled. All right. Move this. This got to be up out of the way. Put this up here. Excellent. And then, I should do one more thing since I'm exhausted, and I probably will do and you know what? I was about to say I'm going to do a shorter show today or some crap, but the reality is, I more than likely, because of what I'm going to cover, it'll probably eat up everything I was and I'm not going to get out early at all. I try to give myself that out, and it's just silly. We will go to full live stream, and there we go. And then I'm going to set a goal for us for 10 super chats for the whole, let's see, for the whole 2 hours. Make it easy on everybody. I get to nap. There you go. Let's start the goal. See if you guys really care about me or if you don't care at all. It's terrible. You just want to wear me down to a nub. I got nothing left. Put this up here, and then I will have access to my chat in there, and I can look at that, and then there you go. Yeah, cool. All right. Now we're ready to go. Chat room is there. Cheryl, thank you so much. Lux, Frank, Peg, thanks for the likes, you guys. Now, as like dazed and confused as I might be from lack of sleep, I have to say that I'm definitely going to sound better than the current sitting president of the United States, if I do say so my damn self. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Trump did a press conference at NATO. We're going to take a look at it. Apparently clips are coming out of this thing, but you got to pay attention to the whole thing. Here we go. That lady almost got ran over, and then they're waiting for him to come out, and he comes out right at 25 minutes. He keeps everybody waiting. And there we go. And it's Hegseth and Rubio on either side of him.
Well, thank you very much. This has been an honor.
Oh, I didn't even realize he heard me say fuck you.
It was a fairly long trip, but worth it. Tremendous things have been accomplished, as you probably noticed.
No. Why would they?
Listened to a lot of wonderful speeches from the heads of a lot of wonderful countries. But I want to thank you.
Awkward body stance. Hold on to the wind is going to come whipping across the remarks. Ouch.
For joining us at the conclusion of a highly productive NATO summit in the Netherlands. I want to thank them for the royal treatment they've given us. Couldn't have been nicer.
Probably could have.
And it's a beautiful country, really a beautiful country. Coming in, I saw the most beautiful trees. In fact, I want to bring some back with me.
No, you can't have it. We're not declaring war on the Netherlands so you can keep the trees.
I want to also thank, I had.
You do realize also we have very similar trees, weirdo?
Breakfast.
I suppose we should just take it as a victory that any Republican president wants to plant trees. So, yeah, fill your boots, dummy.
This morning with the King and Queen and their incredible people.
It's also very quiet. I don't know why. Hold on.
I said, your central casting.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm going to try and get a louder version of it, chat, because it's very quiet and stupid. So, let's see. I'll open up another one. Hit that like, share the show, as you would. Okay, and we'll go to Trump, NATO. That'll do the thing, and we'll see this. Let's see, Trump's good question. Live. This is the PBS NewsHour. Is that the same one that I have? Hold on. Nope, that's Associated Press. So maybe the PBS NewsHour will be that. Yeah. It seems louder.
People are surprised at, but you need it today. The United States.
There you go.
Coming in, I saw the most beautiful trees. In fact, I want to bring some back with me.
Dude.
I want to also thank.
Please, King and Queen of the Netherlands, give him some trees to play with. It'll keep him busy for a couple of days.
I had breakfast this morning with the King and Queen and their incredible people.
Because they're kings and queens? Why?
I said, your central casting. Beautiful people, great people, big, beautiful heart. And I enjoyed that.
Big, beautiful heart. Did you see it? Did they, like, show it to you? Their big, beautiful heart? You fucking weirdo.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart. And also NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who's been terrific. He's been a friend of mine. Used to be right here running this wonderful country. Now he's the NATO Secretary General. He's doing a fantastic job. and the Prime Minister. We appreciate everything you've done. And as you know, last weekend, the United States successfully carried out a massive precision strike on
on some empty underground warehouses.
Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities, and it was very, very successful. It was called obliteration.
Was it? Is that the word you got to use? I got to say, the more he uses the phrase obliteration, the more I think they just missed.
No other military on earth could have done it, and now this incredible exercise of American strength has paved the way for peace with a historic ceasefire agreement late Monday, and we call it the 12-day war. Spoke to a few people, I guess.
What if it kicks up in a couple of more days, where we find out that there was still some stuff going on while we were pretending it was over? What happens then? You're going to rename it? It'll be a big rebrand.
That just sounded like the right name. It was a 12-day war, and we think it's over. I don't think they're going to be going back at each other. I don't think so. Not only have we dealt decisively with the critical threat of Iran's nuclear program,
Apparently not.
which was what I wanted. I said, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've said that for 15 years, long before I decided to do the political thing.
Right, and I think probably with that, you probably should have said, and if given the opportunity, I will bomb it extrajudicially against the Constitution. Maybe just throw in those details. You know what I mean?
But we've also reasserted the credibility of American deterrence, which is like no other. The people at NATO said there's never been anything. You know, I rebuilt the entire military during my first term.
And then apparently it ran out because it was nothing.
And we have a great military. We have great generals. I got to know the good ones and the bad ones. We kept the good ones. Over the past 2 days, I was honored to participate in the NATO leaders meeting, and also had extremely good individual discussions with the King and the Queen, Secretary General Rutte, and the Prime Minister. Great discussions.
You didn't talk to the people that had gathered there. You just went to the King's house and they all had breakfast.
Very knowledgeable people. Major focus
Of what?
our conversations at the summit was the need for other NATO.
Also, Marco Rubio is clearly covering his penis just for safety in case Trump starts flailing around. I don't know what this stance that Hegseth is doing. This kind of like shitty second-tier action figure, you know, the crappy ones, like the knockoff Spadermans. Yeah.
Members to take up the burden of the defense of Europe, and that included the financial burden. As you know, it was 2%. And we got it up to 5%. And they said, a couple of them came up to me. One in particular said, sir, we've been trying to get it up to 3% for.
Yeah, nobody thought all it took was for America to completely abandon our allies. It's amazing what that does for investment in NATO. All of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, shit.
20 years, and we haven't been able, and you got it up to 5%. So they're going to be, most of them, I guess almost all of them are going to be contributing now, 5%, a number that people are surprised at, but you need it today.
For what? 5% of what? 5% for what? What are they going to build? Nukes?
The United States accounts for 2/3 of all NATO defense spending. And since I began pushing for additional commitments in 2017, believe it or not, our allies have increased spending by $700 billion. I said to people, you don't have any money, and a lot of them weren't paying.
You don't have any money? Maybe that's why they weren't paying. I find that people without money tend to not pay for things in general.
And so I started the process, and I picked it up.
Oh, everybody thinks that's Hegseth's tough guy stance. It reminds me a lot of like in The Big Lebowski, when what's his name is standing there, and like he walks in with the ransom thing, and then goes and makes his like kind of soldier
as soon
stance.
as I got back, which is 6 months ago, and following my election last November, almost all have
Well, dude, we just don't know.
accelerated plans to reach the 2%, 3%, 4%, and then ultimately, very quickly, 5%. And all of this is going to be done very quickly, almost immediately. You probably know this. as well as I do. I'm sure they've been talking about it. It's really been a big focus.
Yeah, everybody feels that America can't be counted on, so they've got to up their payments for this for a period of time at the very least. I think probably with the idea that they can go back to normal after the threat of Trump passes.
In a very historic milestone this week, the NATO allies committed to dramatically increase their defense spending to that 5% of GDP, something that no one really thought possible.
Like no one's
And
ever
they
seen
said,
before?
"You did it, sir, you did it." Well, I don't know if I did it, but I think I did.
So you don't trust the people that blow smoke up your ass? All right, it's progress.
This will be known as the Hague Defense Commitment, which is pretty good, pretty appropriate. When the allies reach this number, it will add more than $1 trillion a year. Think of that, $1 trillion per year to our common defense, and this is a monument.
Against who? You should probably bring up who they got to raise their money for. It could be Russia, wouldn't it? It'd be because Russia is probably going to try and attack the Baltics next because they think you're a friend.
Really to victory, but it's a monumental win for the United States because we were carrying much more than our fair share. It was quite unfair, actually. But this is
Our unfair share?
a big win for Europe and for actually Western civilization. For years, past administrations failed.
They're trying to win over the maggots who, were worried about the attack on Western civilization. That's just, throw like that's why. I'm saving Western civilization over here. Yeah, and it's all in all its hair transplant, pussy grabbing glory.
To get most allies to contribute even the 2%.
Nice, we got to the goal already. Oh my God! Thank you guys so much. I get to have a nap. So sweet.
And I remember when I came here, we had 4 countries that were up to 2%. And I remember Poland was there. A couple of them were there. But most of them were. We had 28 at the time. As you know, it's increased a little bit. And they've agreed.
Because of the threat from who?
Agreed now to more than double their budgets in all cases. And Europe stepping up to take more responsibility for its security will help prevent future disasters like the horrible situation with Russia and Ukraine, and hopefully we're going to get that solved.
I see. So this is just another version of NATO expansion, but it will somehow stop them, even though... All right.
Last week they lost 7,000 soldiers, mostly soldiers, but they're also getting hit in Kiev. They're getting hit in some of the towns also.
Yeah, by who? Is this just somebody walking around slapping people, or who would do such a thing?
And that means life.
Ah, I see. All right. So dead people were formerly alive.
Life is disappearing also in the cities and towns.
Life is disappearing. Yeah, people just aren't going out anymore. Namely because they're dead.
Never happened, would have never happened if I was president.
You are president, and it didn't stop, so what the fuck?
Said it 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah, it's doesn't get any truer just because you repeat it.
And it never did happen. It's never even thought about. But it's vital that this additional money be spent on very serious military hardware.
Or hilarious military hardware. I think a lot of war would end if all military gear had to look silly. Because then nobody would want to operate it just to look macho. You know what I mean?
Not bureaucracy, and hopefully...
All bullets should be rubber and very spongy, very nerfy. The great Nerf wars. I'm calling for them right now.
That hardware is going to be made in America because we have the best hardware in the world. You saw that where 14 missiles were shot at us the other day. And they were very...
Sorry, what? I saw what? What happened?
Hardware is going to be made in America because we have the best hardware in the world. You saw that where 14 missiles were shot at us the other day. And they were very nice. They gave us warning. They said, we're going to shoot them.
At the base in Qatar.
1 o'clock, okay. They said, it's fine. And everybody was emptied off the base, so they couldn't get hurt except for the gunners. They call them the gunners. And
why do they call them that? Where did that nickname come from?
Out of 14 high-end missiles that were shot at the base in Qatar, all 14, as you know, were shot down by our equipment. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, they work incredibly well when you're told ahead of time that they're coming.
Amazing that they can do. It's like shooting a bullet with a bullet.
Well, a bullet that explodes next to an exploding bullet that makes the bullet that was going to explode before it's supposed to explode. But sure, it's a lot like shooting a bullet with a bullet.
It's the same thing if you think
No, it's not. No, it's not.
about it.
I thought about it and it's not. I don't know if you guys have thought about it, chat room, but I've thought about it, and it's not like shooting a bullet with a bullet.
14 out of 14, and they weren't even that surprised. I said, "Do you do that well often?" They say, "We pretty much do, sir."
Pretty much. Yeah. Were they saluting when they said pretty much? Also, 14 out of 14 when you know they're coming at exactly what time? Gee, you couldn't have had better preparation if you'd have told fucking Hegseth and he leaked it in a signal chat.
The Ukraine crisis has also highlighted the urgency of rebuilding our defense industrial base, both in the United States and among the allied nations. We cannot afford to be dependent.
Yeah, hold on. Hegseth is totally doing the Philip Seymour Hoffman. When Hoffman walks in and in the Big Lebowski and hands the thing over and goes, like he's trying to be a soldier.
On foreign adversaries for critical minerals. And as you know, we made a deal with Ukraine to take a vast amount of...
Take. Really? We're not buying them? We're not helping to extract them? We're not working with partners in such a way? We're just going to take them. All right. So this is just... America's just in the... It's just a protection racket now? All right. If that gets us through it, it's fine. I need a new goal. It's not a bad idea. Should I set a second goal? That would be lovely.
Land they have for minerals. We need it. And once again, I want to thank all of the people in the Netherlands, incredible people.
Yeah, all of them, especially the king and the queen, who are right out of central casting and extraordinarily sexy.
Great place. And all of the NATO allies for the tremendous summit that we just had. A letter just came in and a statement came in from the Atomic Energy Commission of Israel. And I just wanted, this is an official letter, and they're very serious people, as you know. The devastating U.S. strike on Fordo destroyed the site's critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility totally inoperable. It was devastated. We assess that the American strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities has set back Iran's ability to develop nuclear weapons for many years to come. Mm-hmm. This achievement can continue indefinitely if Iran does not get access to nuclear material, which it won't.
I see. So Russia said they were going to give it to them, and they've got the trigger mechanism in the missiles already?
It's so sad that whole thing had to go. But I just want to thank our pilots. You know, they were maligned and treated.
The pilots were not maligned. This motherfucker. No, nobody's blaming the pilots. They're not even blaming the people who did the plan. You told Iran ahead of time. If they moved their shit out of the way, it wasn't the pilot's fault. You gave them a heads up.
Very bad, demeaned by fake news CNN, which is back there, believe it or not.
Do I believe it? I don't know if I would do. Do I believe it? I believe they're there. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's CNN International, which isn't really CNN on.
Wasting time, wasting it. Nobody's watching them, so they're just wasting a lot of time, wasting my time. And the New York Times, they put out...
Wasting your time. You're the one talking about
a story that, well, maybe they were hit, but it wasn't bad. Well, it was so bad that they ended the war. It ended the war. Somebody said in a certain...
Or they told you they were done so that they could reconstitute stuff because you're such a moron and you needed the victory so badly that you would tell everybody anything they wanted to hear.
Way, you know, it was so devastating, actually. If you look at Hiroshima, if you look at Nagasaki.
Jesus Christ.
You know, that ended a war, too. This ended a war in a different way, but it was so devastating. Also, they have, out of Dubai, just came that Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, this is Iran's foreign ministry, says it's near.
They says it? Did they says it? They says it. Is it says it right there on the paper?
Its nuclear installations were very badly damaged by the American strike. So
Very badly damaged. That sounds like obliteration. Sure. It's like obliteration adjacent is very badly damaged.
what bothered me about these reports were fake reports put out by the New York Times, failing, I call it the failing New York Times because it's doing terribly. Without me, it would be doing no business at all. But
So it's your fault.
and by fake news, CNN and MSDNC, all of these terrible people, you know, they have no credibility. You know, when I started, they were at 94% credibility, the media. Now it's at 16%. And I'm very proud of it because I've exposed it for what it is. But when I
Also, most of the, if anything, there's a big portion of the populace that wants the media to go after him harder. If they're disappointed with the news, it's because they're talking too normally about this lunatic.
I saw them starting to question the caliber of the attack. Was it bad? Well, it was really bad. It was devastating. They were obliterated. In fact, you can't get into the tunnels. They just put that over. That just came out. They can't. There's nothing. There's no way you can even get down. The whole thing is collapsed.
So you can't even look to see if it's devastated. So devastated, you can't even see the devastation. They devastated the devastation. So I don't even know what you're looking for. Sure, they could have missed the entire thing and pointing at some other hole in the ground, but
And I think all of the nuclear stuff is down there because it's very hard to remove.
why?
And we
Why? Please tell me. Please, nuclear scientist in training. You had an uncle who was in MIT. You're a genius. Explain to everybody why nuclear fissile material is so heavy you can't transport it because it's very difficult to move. Because The World Is Not Enough is my favorite Pierce Brosnan Bond film, and they don't seem. They have a little like pulley system, and then they get it on a truck, and it's fucking gone.
did it very quickly. When they heard we were coming, it was, you know, you can't move it. Very hard, very dangerous, actually, to move to.
No, it isn't. It's not nitroglycerin, dum-dum.
And they also knew we were coming, so I don't think too many people want to be down there knowing we're coming.
Well, they had 36 hours, and why did they know you were coming? I thought this was a big sneak attack, and everybody was faked out. What are you talking about? They knew you were coming? You told them. I mean, he's admitting it. He's admitting he told Iran ahead of time. 36 hours beforehand.
With the bunker busters, as we call them, we're the only ones that have them. We have the best equipment, best nuclear equipment, and we have the best equipment in the world. And by the way, we can't forget our submarine.
No. I would never forget the submarines. I think about them all the time.
Which was out there, submarines actually, but
Oh, yeah, well, of course, obviously. You don't want to you can't have just one.
submarine was out
They're like the Pringles of nautical superweapons.
there. We shot 30 rockets into an area, every single one of them. I think it was
Was it a specific area or?
almost 400 miles away, I think, Pete, right? 400 and long. It was in the ocean, long ways away.
Okay. So 400 miles is even further when it's in the ocean. Is that like a thing because of nautical miles are different than regular miles? And of course, the rockets are wet, so that makes the flame in the end of them smaller, and they don't go as far.
And we shot a total of 30. Every single one of them hit within 9 inches from where it was supposed to be. It took out a lot because we didn't do just Fordo. We did.
So in Trump's world, if you know Stormy Daniels, he's basically saying that it was 3 dicks away from where they meant to hit.
2 others in addition, which hadn't been completely destroyed. So we hit them with a submarine from hundreds of miles away. Amazing.
Really? Did you just fling the whole submarine?
Just amazing equipment. Greatest submarine.
Also, you don't think we have like ICBMs that launch, much less regular, like just overland missiles?
Submarines in the world. Nobody's even close. They're 20 years behind us when it comes to submarine technology.
Yeah.
So that's one, and the other was from the Atomic Energy Commission, and they have about 3 or 4 of them now coming in from atomic energy commissions from various places. But the one that we have that just came out, we released it a little while ago, was from the Israeli Atomic Energy Commission, but
Okay, so yeah, they're going to be really straight with this. Yeah, absolutely. So anyways, read what they told you to
numerous
say.
of them are getting to see the site, and the site has been demolished. And again,
Wait, how are the Israeli Atomic Energy Agency is in Iran right now? That's kind of breaking news. I'm kidding. It's bullshit. He's talking out of his ass.
we had these brave patriots, these incredible flyers, these people that
Pilots?
can fly a plane better than anybody can fly a plane going into.
Well, I mean, it's again, this is more like an air submarine. It's not like, I mean, the fighter jets are never
A
mind.
very hostile territory, flying into
Way over, out of range. The Israelis had already claimed the skies over Iran.
the territory that has got more missiles and things pointed at it, but it was very stealth. They didn't get to see it. It was dark. That's
Yeah, you can't see airplanes at night
the amazing
unless they have the lights on, which would be a big mistake.
thing about the shots. They hit the shots perfectly, and yet it was dead dark. There was no moon. There was no light.
You do realize they're not eyeballing it, right? Does he think they're actually like just fucking looking through a little viewfinder and clicking it away like it's World War II?
It was virtually moonless.
Our pilots didn't, like the airmen didn't moon Iran as they were flying over. What the hell is America coming to?
It was very dark, and the shots were hit perfectly. But when they get demeaned, and they were very upset about it because they knew how strong it would be. Back in Missouri, the pilots flew
Sorry, our pilots are weeping in Missouri because you told the Iranians we were coming and they moved their shit.
about 36 hours, two ways, far
2 ways.
distance, and
Yeah, far distance. 2 ways, far distance. Round trip, I think, is a phrase maybe you might be familiar with. Like, like when you flew down from New York to Florida with Jeffrey Epstein and came back together. It's around shit.
in those incredible B-2s. And we then had the F-22s, and we had the F-35s, and we had other planes, and we had, I think, a total of 52 tankers. That means the big tankers, because
Right, as opposed to the little tankers.
the refueling was a lot for all of the different planes that we sent.
Yes, the refueling was a lot.
Incredible operation, and I have to say, General Raisin Cain was incredible. That's why he beat ISIS, and we beat ISIS in a matter of weeks. I was
No, you didn't.
told it would take 4 to 5 years. We did
Well, if you care about civilian deaths.
it in a few weeks, and he was great. That's why he's the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff right now, because I had a very good experience with him. He knocked out ISIS in a period of literally a few
He knocked out Hegseth in 2 meetings.
weeks. Amazing. And it was supposed to take a few years, 5 years to be exact.
You've always said 4. I don't know why you added a year.
So we had a great victory there, and we then came here, and I think we had a great victory here. But this is an ongoing project. This is the safety of Europe, the safety of the
We just basically have a victory anytime I make boom boom in my underpants.
world. And they've raised it from 2% to 5%, something which nobody, and you're talking about over $1 trillion a year. So we're talking about a lot of money coming in from countries that we're not paying nearly enough to be effective. So I have, as you know, Marco Rubio with me, and Pete Hegseth, Secretary
Where would they be?
of State and Secretary of War.
Oh yeah, I do. You know what? Now that I think of it, I do remember something about them being with you. Are they still there, or?
We say Secretary, it used to be called Secretary of War. Maybe for a couple of weeks we'll call it that, because we feel like warriors. Used to be
Jesus.
called Secretary of War. In fact, if you look at the old building next to the White House, you can see where it used to be Secretary of War. Then we became politically correct, and they called it Secretary of Defense. I don't know, maybe we'll have to start thinking about changing it, but we feel that way.
We do.
Do we have any questions, please?
Yes. Do you smell almonds?
Wow. That's a lot of questions. Who's a nice person? Oh, you're not a nice person, but I'll let you ask one. Go ahead. What's he going to ask? He is not nice at all.
Aw. Yeah, because you feel like warriors. That you sound like a warrior, too. I'm going to get him a mean question.
I know him well.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time before flying home. You just said
Bitching out, I think is what they're calling it, because you only stayed a day.
you believe the conflict between Israel and Iran is over. What makes you so confident it is? And what do you do if it isn't?
Because I dealt with both, and they're both tired, exhausted. They fought very, very hard and very viciously, very violently.
No, they didn't. This wasn't like heavy lifting. They fired missiles. Ah, God. I'm too exhausted. I pushed 14 buttons today. I cannot push another 15th. I don't care if Allah calls me to wipe out Israel and destroy it. And America is the great Satan. My carpal tunnel is acting up. What the fuck?
Violently, and they were both satisfied to go home and get out.
They weren't in each other's countries.
And can it start again? I guess someday it can. It could
Someday.
maybe start soon. I think a big telltale sign was when, as you know, Iran somewhat, by not much, violated the ceasefire. And Israel had the planes going out that morning, and there were a lot of them, 52 of them. And I said, you got to get them back. And they brought them back. They didn't do anything. They brought them back. It was very good. I thought it was amazing, actually.
Yeah, they did. They responded. They fired back.
They have fought a hell of a war. They fought very hard. I think the war ended, actually, when we hit the various nuclear sites with the planes. And I just
Wait a minute. I thought you dropped bombs on them. So you crashed planes into the nuclear sites. Fascinating.
hope you people can give these pilots, these are the best pilots in the world. They're the best
Yeah, but how did they manage to crash their planes into the ground?
shots in the world. They call them shots. That's what
Do they? I was wondering. So these guys were doing shots in the plane. Somebody take notes.
they are. And wait a minute. And I just hope you can give them the respect they deserve, because they came home to fake news. And like, oh, gee, there was hardly any damage. The things are decimated. So, but
I heard obliterated, but, that might be bullshit.
I think they're very much finished. I think Israel's going to get back to doing what they do, and I think that Iran's going to get back. Iran has a huge advantage. They have great oil, and they can do things. I don't see them getting back involved in the nuclear business anymore. I think they've had it. They've been at it for 20 years, and I don't see that happening either. Now, if it does, we're always there. It won't be me. It'll be somebody.
What? How about this? How about they just start bombing everything? What if they get out of the nuclear business, but they're just in the terrorism business? What then? They didn't nuke Israel. And Israel has nukes and didn't nuke Iran. That's not what the exchange was. This was standard warfare. But Iran still has proxies all over the place, right?
Else, but we're there.
I guess they'll just give them a pass on that.
We'll have to do something about it. Yes, please, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, fake news, CNN? Oh, yeah, here we go. Wait till you hear this question. You should really say how great our soldiers and our warriors are.
I think everyone appreciates our soldiers and our warriors. I do have two questions for you, Mr. President. You just cited Israeli intelligence on these attacks. Earlier, you said U.S. intelligence was inconclusive. Are you relying on Israeli intelligence for your assessment of the impact of the strikes?
No, this is also Iran made the statement.
Okay, so you're relying on Iranian intelligence as well. I feel so much better.
And it's also, if you read the document that was given, that Pete can talk about if you'd like.
Yes, the document that was given. Oh, yes, I'm familiar.
The document said it could be very severe damage.
It did? The document said it could be very severe? Doesn't sound like obliteration, but it could be. It's in the document.
But they didn't take that. They said it could be limited or it could be very severe. They really didn't know, other than to say it could be limited or it could be very, very severe.
So, not obliteration. Could be?
And
how about it could be nothing? It could be just surface damage and the illusion that you stopped it, yeah, Schrodinger's damage.
You didn't choose to put that because it was very early after. Since then,
Sorry, they should have put in very limited.
we've collected additional intelligence. We've also spoken to people who have seen the site, and the site is obliterated.
Sorry, you spoke to people who saw the site? I guess that's the Iranians?
And we think everything nuclear is down there. They didn't take it out.
You think? Well, if you think, I mean, you also think saying someone's unattractive is a great defense against a rape charge. So I don't know how much thinking you actually, maybe just out of practice.
Okay, question? Please, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, blue dress.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Blue dress, the devil.
President. Yesterday you said China can now continue to purchase oil from Iran.
Yeah.
Are you giving up on your maximum pressure campaign? Because
With
there's
who?
sanctions right now.
With who?
On Iran?
No, look, they just had a war. The war
They just had a war. Did they? They just had a war?
was fought. They fought it bravely. I'm not giving up. They're in the oil business. I mean, I could stop it if I wanted. I could sell China the oil myself. I don't want to do that. They're going to
You don't want to sell China oil from the United States?
need money to put that country back into shape. We want to see that happen.
What shape do you want to put them in? I mean, are you the one that said like billions of dollars, they got rich off the oil and then they gave it to Hamas and...
Would it? No, if they're going to sell oil, they're going to sell oil. We're not taking over the oil. We could have, you know. I used to say with Iraq, keep the oil. I could say it here, too. We could have kept the oil.
No, you couldn't. We're not going to fucking occupy Iran and take over their oil fields, you fucking weirdo. No, you can't. No, period. End of story.
China is going to want to buy oil. They can buy it from us. They can buy it from other people. But you're going to have to put that country back into shape. It desperately needs money. Yeah. Yeah, please. Here we go. I'm picking the beauties today. Go ahead.
Mr. President, Secretary General Rutte has described President Putin as an adversary, a threat, an enemy. Do you view him the same way? And in addition to that, you mentioned General Kane, your chief of staff, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
General Kane.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, Raisin. Mr. Raisin to you, if you're nasty.
Said that Mr. Putin has territorial ambitions beyond Ukraine. Do you view that in the same way?
Possible. I mean, it's possible.
It's not possible. He fucking said it. Today, dumb fuck.
I know one thing. He'd like to settle. He'd like to get out of this thing. It's a mess.
No, he wouldn't. Or he would have done it. What are you talking about? What's stopping him? War would end if he just packed the shit up and got out.
For him. He called the other day. He said, can I help you with Iran? I said, no, you can help me with Russia. Because, you know, in the last few weeks, we took care of India and Pakistan.
No, you didn't.
Kosovo, Serbia.
Nope.
I think on Friday we have coming in, the Congo is coming in. And
they are. They're going to, yeah, the whole Congo's visiting.
Rwanda is
They're coming in. They're going to have McDonald's at the White House.
coming in. That was a vicious war that went on, a machete war. Heads chopped off all over Africa.
Well, I think it's actually in the DRC. It wasn't all over Africa. It was a territorial dispute.
They're coming in. We did two others in addition to that. Nobody.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry's. You put that fight to bed, which is great. And then Spy versus Spy. They moved in together. They're getting married. It's lovely.
Ever done anything like this? No, I consider him a person that's, I think, been misguided. I'm very surprised, actually. I thought we would have.
Yes, Putin has been misguided. I guess his own version of the deep state is giving him bad intel and teasing him to be a genocidal, imperialistic prick. That's just bad advice he's getting.
Had that settled easy. I've settled 4 of them in the meantime. But he did call up, and he said, you know, he's close to Iran. He'd like to help us get a settlement. I said, no, you help me get a settlement with Russia.
Yeah, I don't need your help. I'm going to bomb them in 36 hours. I don't know how they found out.
And I think we're going to be doing that, too. Yeah, please. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've made clear your position on what impact the strikes had. I wanted to ask you what is next.
General Raisin Bran.
with Iran. For instance, is there any indication from U.S. intelligence that Iran was able to move any material?
No, just the opposite.
Yeah, just the opposite. They took a bunch of nuclear shit and they moved it into that place when they knew we were coming. Fuck me. Just the opposite. They didn't get the stuff out. They went around and they found some nuclear fuel and they put it in the place going, hey, you'll get rid of it for us. Since these bombs are coming, let's put it in there so that our entire country can be dusted with radioactive waste.
We think we hit them so hard and so fast they didn't get to move. And if you knew about that material, it's very hard and very dangerous to move.
No, it's not.
It's called, in many people, they call it dust, but it's...
Yeah, it's so dangerous that Colin Powell was afraid to carry a little vial of it.
It's very, very heavy. It's
very heavy dust. And it blows around and stuff like that. You know, you ever try to, it's like laundry. It's like you try to carry it without a basket and the socks are falling off and you're always going to lose at least one pair of drawers.
very, very hard to move.
Yeah, you're cupping dust and it's very windy. It's called dust.
And they were way down, you know, they're 30.
Well, yeah, I would keep my dust underground too or whatever. Otherwise, you put it above ground, it's going to get mixed in with the sand. You won't be able to find it.
30 stories down. They're literally 30, 35 stories down underground.
You think you got it all?
Oh, yeah, we think we got it. We think it's covered with granite, concrete, and steel.
Okay, so you dropped a building on it.
Can I ask you, are you interested in restarting negotiations with Iran? And if so, have they received?
So our people, Marco could answer this, but our people are not, I'm not. The way I look at it, they fought, the war's done, and, you know, I could get a statement that they're not going to go nuclear. We're probably going to ask for that, but they're not going to be doing it. But they're not going to be doing it anyway. They've had it. They've had it.
Yeah, but what about, like, terrorism and like, conventional warfare?
Now, maybe someday in the future we'll want that. But I've asked Marco, do you want to draw, I just asked him the question as we were walking on the stage, do you want to draw up a little agreement for them to sign? Because I think we can get them to sign it. I don't think it's necessary. Marco, do you want to talk about that, please?
Please tell them the thing that I told you to say.
Well, Mr. President, I think President Trump has shown a willingness to meet and talk to anybody in the world who's interested in peace.
So he's not meeting the Iranians, is what you're saying. That's interesting. He just said he doesn't want to meet with them. So I guess that means they aren't?
I don't know of any president that's been as willing as he has to meet with anyone and talk about peace. We'd love to have peaceful relations with any country in the world. And so obviously that'll depend on Iran's willingness not just to engage in peace, but to negotiate directly with the United States, not through some third country or fourth country process. But I know of no president, probably in our modern history, that's sought peace more than President Trump has.
Yeah, with bunker busters.
Sounds like the door is open, but you're in no rush. Is that right? Sounds like the door is open. But
I'll tell you what, look, we're going to talk to them next week with the...
They said they aren't, by the way.
We may sign an agreement. I don't know. To me...
Yeah, who cares?
I don't think it's that necessary.
Yeah, they're fucked. Whatever, you know, we'll bomb them again, I guess.
I mean, they had a war, they fought, now they're going back to their world. I don't care if I have an...
They're going back to their world. Just go back to being Iran.
Agreement or not. The only thing we'd be asking for is what we were asking for before about we want no nuclear, but we destroyed them.
Everything else is fine. Proxy fighting, you know, the Houthis, Hezbollah, all that kind of stuff, like commandeering ships, the Chinese dudes they have as hostages right now. That's totally cool.
Nuclear. In other words, that's destroyed. I said Iran will not have nuclear. Well, we blew it up. It's blown up.
Well, do you know how many sites they have? Because it sounds like they had 7 and you blew up 3.
To Kingdom Come and...
that's where it went. Okay, so what if they just fly over to Kingdom Come and pick some up?
So I don't feel very strongly about it. If we got a document, wouldn't be...
Sounds an awful lot like George W. Bush going, being asked about Osama bin Laden. Right? That whole, like... Actually, I don't think about him that much.
We're going to meet with him, actually. We're going to meet with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes. Mr. President, Netherlands TV, thank you for visiting our country.
Good.
As I understood,
Thank you.
I, of course, like to know how you slept last night at the House of the King.
Oh, I slept beautifully.
He slept at the House of the King last night.
But probably a more serious question. I think you just had a meeting with President Zelensky. Did you discuss any ceasefire in this Russo-Ukrainian?
No, I wanted to know how he's doing. He was very nice, actually. You know, we had little rough times sometimes. He was couldn't have been nicer. I think he'd like to see an end to this. I do. I think.
Yeah, and it's real easy. Russia, get the fuck out.
What I took from the meeting couldn't have been nicer, actually. But I took from the meeting that he'd like to see it end. I think it's a great time to end it. I'm going to speak to Vladimir Putin, see if we can get it ended. But
yeah, just ended how? Again, this sounds like, look, we understand there was a rape that happened, but if he marries her, is it really rape anymore? That's the argument he's making.
Look, these are brave people. They're fighting these wars all over the place, you know?
All over the place.
So, last week they had, I guess, close to 7,000 young soldiers, Russian and Ukrainian soldiers were killed, 7,000 in 1 week. It's
pretty common. It's been happening that way for years.
Crazy. It's crazy. So I'll be speaking.
Yeah, it's crazy how it could be over in a fucking second if Russia just got the fuck out.
To Putin. No, I had a good meeting with Zelensky. And I had a lot of good meetings. We had a lot of good meetings with a lot of people, a lot of great leaders. But
can you name any of them besides Zelensky and the King and Queen of the Netherlands, who apparently you spent the night and had breakfast with them? Do you know? Name anyone. Who?
He's fighting a brave battle. It's a tough battle. Yeah. Go ahead. White dress.
White dress. Fucking dude.
Thank you. Ida Hallikainen from Finland, Ilta-Sanomat.
Oh dear. Accent. It's going to be fun.
You have played golf with President Alexander Stubb. How do you see Finland as a NATO ally and partner, and how would you describe your relationship with our president?
Well, he's a very good golfer. Okay. In fact, he was on his college golf team. He went to a good college in the South, as you know, a very good college, and he was a good golfer. We had a good time. I think my relationship's great. I want to buy.
We had a good time. That guy won.
Icebreakers. You know, you're very good at icebreakers. And I actually made him an offer. I didn't go to Congress. They'll try and impeach me for this. But there's an old, it's not old, it's fairly new, but it's used icebreaker. And I offered him about 1/3 of what he asked for. But we're negotiating. We need icebreakers in the U.S. And if we can get some inexpensively, I'd like to do that. Actually, they'll fix it up, make it good.
Sorry, we're going to buy used icebreakers from... good Lord.
You may buy some icebreakers. You know, you're the king of icebreakers, that particular country. They make them good. They make
them good. Yeah. It must be so easy listening to him speak when English is your third language. So it doesn't seem as weird as it does to people who are, I don't know, fluent in English, let's say.
Really good, and they know what they're doing. And
breaking ice? Is that what they're doing?
So we're negotiating with them for about 15 different icebreakers, but one of them is available now. It's old, and it's, old. It's like 5-6 years old. Now we're trying to buy it. I'm trying to make a good deal. All I do my whole life. My whole life, that's all I do is make deals. Yeah, please. Go ahead. Sir, go ahead.
Yeah, a question for NewsHour, Dutch TV. First of all, on Article 5, on your way here, you spoke about the commitment of the U.S. to Article 5, saying, I'll give you my definition once we're here. Yeah. What is your definition, and may the U.S. commitment to Article 5 change in case some of the NATO members do not reach the threshold that was discussed today? My second question is following up on a colleague on Iran. What intel reports do say that everything over there was obliterated?
Yeah, well, there are numerous of those reports, and they're coming out fast and furious.
Yeah, eventually. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, we'll have a report. Yeah.
But the most respected ones we've already seen.
You mean the ones that said it wasn't?
And I will say that on a very confidential basis, they're looking at the reports.
Classified?
Like numerous reports, and including people going to the site and checking the site.
Okay, so we got paratroopers in there? What are we fucking flying? Did somebody like airdrop Scott Ritter in there and he's like, it's all good, boss. Can I have a 15-year-old?
And they're going to be having, I guess you're going to be having over the next couple of days a full, you're going to encapsulate it. But
an encapsulation, yeah, clip notes, basically. We'll just basically say what happened, basically.
No, the site was obliterated, just like I said it was. And
no, it wasn't.
Just like the pilots should be given credit for. As far as Article 5, look, when I came here...
Big sniff.
I came here because it was something I'm supposed to be doing, but...
I didn't want to do it, but they said there'd be golf and you could have breakfast with the king and queen.
I left here a little bit differently. I said, I watched the heads of these countries get up, and the love and the passion that they showed for their country was unbelievable. I've never seen quite anything like it.
Yeah, well, they've never had the value of their country or the livelihood of their citizens challenged like this before by an ally.
They want to protect their country.
Yeah, from you.
And they need the United States. And without the United States, it's not going to be the same. And you can ask Mark, or you can ask any of the people that were there.
Glenn, Gary, Reggie.
It was really moving to see it. They love their country. They were so respectful of me because I'm the head of the United States. And I made, the King of Saudi Arabia, when I was in the Middle East.
Ah, is that where Saudi Arabia is?
So I was in Qatar for a different reason, not a reason to get shot at. We were in.
I don't know. That's debatable.
There for economic development reasons. Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. All three leaders of those countries, and we took back $5.1 trillion into the United States.
No, you didn't.
Three leaders said, you're presiding over the hottest country in the world. The United States right now is the hottest. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants a piece of it.
Yes, it sounds like you're selling off large chunks of land. I mean, Nippon Steel, and also, I guess, tourism is way down, so we're hot, but nobody wants to come here.
He said a year ago, your country was dead.
Yeah, well, you couldn't come here and take advantage of our workers because unions were getting stronger and unemployment was low, and yeah, you fixed that.
You had a deadhead running it. You had
a deadhead. Oh, all right. I didn't realize Grateful Dead fans will be happy to know. I know Carter was a big fan of the Allman Brothers, but
a country that was dead, and it was dead.
Was it dead though?
You had people pouring through the borders.
Were they dead? Wait, was it a zombie apocalypse?
Inflation. You had everything. He said,
"We still have inflation."
You've made it in 5 months at that time. You've made it the hottest country. This is the hottest country in the world. The United States right now is the hottest country in the world.
You're welcome.
And when I was around that table, it was a...
Is it a round table?
Nice group of...
Round table?
People, many of whom I knew from previous. When I saw the passion they had...
From previous, yeah. Who would those people be?
For the country. Almost everyone, and you probably have the tapes.
Probably.
It was very public, but...
Yeah. Very public.
Almost every one of them said, thank God for the United States. Without the United States, they couldn't really have NATO. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, but you didn't start that shit. You just almost ended it. They're trying to ingratiate you and suck up to your ego so you don't fuck it up.
It wouldn't work. It will in the future because now they're paying much more money, but...
yeah, in the future you won't need us. Yeah, that's the idea. And by the way, I apologize if there's a... see, do I have a... Yeah. There's some close-ups, and I apologize. I should have warned you guys ahead of time.
It wouldn't work. It was great. And I left here differently. I left here saying that these people really love their countries.
You haven't left yet.
It's not a ripoff, and we're here to...
It's not a ripoff that they love their country?
Help them protect their country.
Which country would that be? Oh, the generalized European country.
Okay. Well,
kind of like Africa, the country of Africa.
We'll do one or two more.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
A question on Spain. Are you satisfied with today?
Oh, I think Spain's terrible what they've done. No, I do. They're the only country that won't pay the full up. They want to stay at 2%. I think it's...
But they are very sexy, so, the You got to take it with. I mean, when you got people like Antonio Banderas who can wear those kind of pants and carry a big case and look so sexy and pull their hair back and walk across a bar while shooting and is so amazing. So, yeah, I think they should get special 2% dispensation for the Spanish because they are too sexy for my pants.
Terrible. And, you know, they're doing very well. The economy is very well.
It is very well. It's well done. Yeah, yeah. I like my economy's rare, but...
And that economy could be blown right out of the water with something bad happening. You know, Spain is the only country that... Are you from Spain?
Yeah.
Good, congratulations. You're the only country that is not paying. I don't know what the problem is. I think it's too bad. So we'll make it up.
Probably because they're not on the front lines of any of it, and if they were attacked by terrorists, the rest of the countries around them would react, I guess, and protect them, even if they didn't mean Article 5.
You know what we're going to do? We're negotiating with Spain on a trade deal. We're going to make them pay twice as much. And I'm actually serious about that. We're going to make Spain... I like Spain. I have so many...
They don't pay twice as much. You mean you make Americans who buy stuff from Spain pay twice as much?
People from Spain, that it's a great place and they're great people. But Spain is
it's very Spanish.
The only country out of all of the countries
that is so fucking Spanish
that refuses to pay. And, you know, so they want a little bit of a free ride. But they'll have to pay it back to us on trade because I'm not going to let that happen. It's unfair.
Also, what do you mean? Why are we paying? Wouldn't they owe it to the rest of NATO? If those guys are upping it and you're lowering what the U.S. is doing... They don't owe us. They owe the rest of NATO, right?
It's unfair to NATO. All right, sir, please. Go ahead, right in the back. Yeah, you, tall one. The tall man.
Mr. President, Johannes Petra from Austrian National Television.
It's good to have this guy asking the questions, you know.
You once said that...
Let me tell you something. If you got the questions... this is the forehead of our news department, yes.
You would end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. You later said that sarcastically.
Well, of course it was sarcastic.
No, that's not sarcasm. That's not how sarcasm works. It really isn't.
But you've now been in office for 5 months and 5 days. Why have you not been able to end the Ukraine war?
Because it's more difficult than people would...
Than you told people?
Have any idea?
Jesus Christ. People wouldn't have any idea. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't think the Ukrainians understand how hard it would be to end? You don't think the Biden administration would have ended it sooner if they thought they could?
Vladimir Putin has been more difficult.
Has he? I thought, you know, you guys were like this, and this is him. He was on top.
Frankly, I had some problems with Zelensky. You may have read about him. And it's been more difficult than other wars. I mean, look, we just ended a war in 12 days that was simmering for 30 years, frankly.
He really thinks, I mean, he doesn't really think this is over, does he?
Hi,
Carl.
Ended Rwanda and the Congo. It's coming to sign the documents. We've already signed basic documents, but they're coming, I think, to the White House on Friday.
The Rwandan groups are militias. They're not the official, like, Rwanda's not at war with the DRC. They signed it, like, what he's it seems like, I mean, none of us have seen this, we'll probably see it in 2 weeks, but apparently what he's signing is some sort of security agreement with the DRC that will move in there, and these guys will have to kill our people if they want to continue these attacks, and therefore they'll be too afraid to do it because it'll be American soldiers guarding, you know, these mines.
Friday. We ended, Serbia was going to go at it.
They were going to go at it hot and heavy.
But maybe the most important of all, India and Pakistan. And that wasn't whether or not they may someday have nukes like we're talking about in the Middle East, like we're talking about with Israel.
And whatever that other country was.
Iran. This is they have nuclear weapons. I ended that with a series of...
Yeah, you didn't end that. They ended that themselves. That's they basically have told you to fuck off. We got a lot of spam in the Facebook chat today. I'm going to take that as a point of pride.
Phone calls on trade. I said, look.
Obviously, this is a very engaging show. Otherwise, they wouldn't, you know, feel like they needed to unload their ivermectin spam in there.
If you're going to go fighting each other, it was getting very bad. You know how bad that last attack was. It was really bad. If you're going to go fighting each other, we're not doing any trade deal. No, you have to do a trade deal. I said, we're not doing any trade deal.
No, you have to do a trade deal. That's what India said? Is that his Modi impersonation?
And in fact, I had the general, who was really...
Raising Cane?
This is very impressive. The general from Pakistan was in my office last week.
Okay, the Pakistani general who went, no, you have to do trade.
You know, Prime Minister Modi is a great friend of mine. He's a great gentleman. He's a great man. And I got them to reason. I said, we're not doing a trade deal if you're going to fight. And if you're going to fight each other, we're not doing a trade deal. And you know what? They said, no, I want to do the trade.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck, dummy. These short little dust-ups come and go. You promised to end this in one fucking phone call. Stop dithering.
We stopped the nuclear war. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jeff. Here's another beauty, Jeff. He's a beauty, all right. Go ahead.
Mr. President, to follow up on Ukraine, will the United States contribute any more money to Ukraine's defense this year to the $5 billion that allies are giving? And one question, you had another meeting with the Dutch opposition leader, Mr. Wilders. Can you tell us about that meeting? And are you upset about his anti-Muslim stance?
I'm not upset about it. It's just his view. He's unhappy with the way things are going in this country and various countries. He was an opposition leader.
Apparently, I've heard that. I heard it from the guy asking the question, actually.
And I was asked to meet with the opposition leader by the people that are running. I think they have some deal where if you have a meeting, you're supposed to meet with an opposition leader. I said, that's strange. We don't do that, but I met.
This is very choppy. Sorry. I don't know why that is.
I didn't know him. He seemed like a very nice guy, but he's in opposition.
Yeah, like Ghislaine Maxwell or, Jeffrey Epstein.
To the current people, and that was set up by the current people. So I assume when I met with the prime minister, you're supposed to meet with the opposition. We'll have to try that sometime.
Why?
In our country. Let's not do it. But he was.
You mean when people come over to meet with you, they'll also meet with the Democrats? Great idea.
I thought he was very good. As far as money going, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of spirit. Look, Vladimir Putin really has to end that war. People are dying at levels that people haven't seen before for a long time. Go ahead. Go ahead. White shirt. Oh, she's all excited.
Okay. So, BBC News Ukrainian.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Oh.
So my question to you is whether or not the U.S. is ready to sell anti-air missile systems Patriot to Ukraine. We know that Russia has been pounding Ukraine really heavily right now.
Are you living yourself now in Ukraine?
My husband is there.
Wow.
And
I can see you very, it's amazing.
And me with the kids, I'm in Warsaw actually, because he wanted me to be.
Is your husband a soldier? No?
He's
there now?
Yeah.
Wow. That's rough stuff, right? That's tough. And
it's rough stuff, huh? Scary, huh? I had bone spurs, so fuck that noise.
Living here?
I guess that's the price of being poor in you, huh, lady?
In Warsaw.
And you're a reporter?
I am.
Good. So let me just tell you.
Yeah, it's a press conference. She's, I caught all of it. You guys caught all of it, right?
They do want to have the anti-missile missiles, okay?
Yes, the anti-missile missiles. Anti-aircraft defense batteries. Sure, yes, they're anti-missile missiles.
As they call them.
It's like shooting a bullet with a bullet. As they call them. Nobody calls them anti-missile missiles. They literally don't.
The Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available, They're very hard to get. We need them too. We were supplying them to Israel, and they're very effective, 100% effective. Hard to believe how effective. And they do want that more than any other thing, as you probably know. That's a very good.
Yeah, she probably knows.
Good question. And I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see it's very upsetting to you. So say hello to your husband, okay?
Say hello. The president says hello. I said the president says hello. You probably can't hear me over the explosions of the Russians trying to murder you and everyone around you. But he said tell you hello. And that maybe
Thank you.
Fuck you, dude. I mean, it's weird because he's almost like he can recognize. He's not very good at recognizing pain in other people or having empathetic things. But you could see him seeing something there for a second. It's like, I don't have any hope that any of it will get through. But it's fucking gross how that's what the drawback is. Like he can see this woman is clearly, honestly distressed in a horrifying situation, is trying to figure out if there's a solution from this asshole she's talking to, and he's like, tell him I said hi.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. You were criticizing...
Where are you from?
Bloomberg News.
Oh, Bloomberg. That's wonderful.
You were criticizing the Federal Reserve Chair before coming to this summit.
Yeah, I think he's terrible.
I was wondering if you've begun interviewing different candidates for the Fed pick.
Yeah, I know within 3 or 4 people who are going to pick. I mean, he goes up pretty soon, fortunately, because I think he's terrible. We have no inflation. We have a tremendous economy. Hundreds of billions.
We have inflation.
Billions of dollars of tariff money is pouring in.
No. We're losing trillions of dollars.
Factories are being built because they
don't
want to pay the tariffs, so they're building them all over the country.
Yes, all those AI tariffs.
I think
when people use the ChatGPT app,
the 15
tariff you have to pay on that.
$1 trillion. I told you 5.1 trillion from the Middle East alone, but of investment money coming in. There's never been anything like that in the history of our country.
There's been a lot of things like that. That's why a big sniff. Listen, you're going to hear when he knows he's lying, right after he says it.
Of investment money coming in. There's never been anything like that in the history of our country. But we have...
God damn, what a pull.
No inflation. And we have borrowing because Biden, stupidly, they did short-term debt. So we have borrowing coming up. And, we'll go 10 years, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but we'll go a long period of time when we do the debt. And because of him, because of this guy, we will have to pay for years. We'll be paying for him.
Right. So that's why you would do short-term debt, because if you believe they were working in the government was actually doing a good job, and they were planning on inflation going down, so they did short-term debt because they thought it would come down, then they could long-term change over that debt, refinance it effectively at a lower rate. And now you can't, because your tariff shit is extending the rate, and even over the next year there's no way you're going to be able to refinance at a lower rate, even shaving a percentage off of it. So you're stuck because you're an asshole.
And I said to him, listen, there's no inflation.
There is inflation.
He says, but maybe there'll be some. That's true. I said, if there is some, what you do is raise the rate. I'm okay
Jesus Christ. You don't want to yo-yo it all over the fucking place.
With that. You raise the rate in 2 years from now or a year from now. But because the rate's high, we have to...
If they wait 2 years and the rate comes up this fall because you keep punting these fucking tariffs everywhere, some of them are being paid, some businesses are being hit really hard, other ones aren't seeing it yet because you're giving them a special dispensation. But once this 90 days runs out, then what? Another 90 days? Then what? Another 90 days? What if they all come due around November and you're just like, I can't punt this anymore, we're just gonna fucking do it. And then 3 days, the prices go through the fucking roof, you fuck Christmas into a cocked hat, and inflation starts to go up again. Then they're what, gonna bounce it back down? Or bounce it back up, I guess?
Pay more for debt. It's pretty equal. In other words, if it's 4%, it's 4%. If you drop it a point, you'll pay 3%. So it's fairly equal. Not necessarily, but fairly equal.
You're talking about billions and trillions of dollars. A single percentage point is an enormous amount of fucking money. That's why they do it in basis points, in tens.
So we're going to end up paying maybe 2 points or 3 points more. 3 points would be about $900 billion a year because of this very average mentally person. He's an average mentally...
This very average mentally person. Sorry, say that again?
Because of this... very average mentally person. He's an average mentally person.
He's an average mentally person. You mean he's mentally average? That as a person, he's... Jesus Christ. Listen to that again.
3 points would be about $900 billion a year because of this very average mentally person. He's an average mentally person.
How How do Marco Rubio and Hegseth not just like dive on top of him like there's an assassin in the room and drag him out of the room?
I'd say low in terms of what he does. Low.
Low what? Being low average mentally person?
Low IQ for what he does, okay? Wait, so instead of paying, okay?
Sniff.
Wait, so instead of paying...
Instead of paying, sure.
$900 billion. We don't want to pay 900 just because he doesn't want to lower the rate. I said, if there's inflation in 2 years or 3 years or 1 year from now, you raise...
Or 2 months. That's the problem. We still have inflation. And we have cumulative inflation still. That's what you were talking about. It hasn't gone down.
The rate, you take care of the inflation, among other things.
What other things?
But he's probably a very political guy, I guess. I don't know. I think he's a very stupid person, actually. All right, one more. Let's go. How about you?
One more. But he's a very average mentally person, but low on the low of IQ for what he does.
Go ahead. She looks so happy and everything.
Thank you.
That's why I
I'm
picked
from
her.
Spain too. I'm Ana Buch from La Vanguardia. I wanted to know if
You're where from?
Spain too.
Fucking Spain again.
Wanted to know if you want to.
That's the Spain corner right there. Shouldn't have said that. That's okay. I do like Spain, by the way. I think it's unfair that they're not paying, but go ahead.
Are you going to negotiate directly with Spain about?
I'm going to negotiate directly with Spain. I'm going to do it myself. They're going to pay. They'll pay more money this way. You should tell them to go back and pay. You're a reporter? You tell them to go back. They ought to join all of those countries that are paying 5%.
What if they can't?
Spain's going to be just about the only one that's not. They were the most hostile toward doing it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay. All right, Kelly, go ahead. Here we go. Here's another one.
Hello, sir. Thank you very
We
much.
got them all today.
Okay. So, Mr. President, you talked about expecting some on-the-ground assessments at Fordo and other sites.
Now here,
Is that
here again.
Israeli and U.S.?
It's been obliterated, Kelly. It's been
What is your message then, sir, to the intelligence community when they present reports? You're not disputing the DIA report. You're just...
They presented a
exists.
report that wasn't finished. We're talking about something that took place 3 days ago.
I understand.
Right, but what does it have to fucking rise like sourdough bread, you dumbass? After we blow a place up, it's got to be blown up for a while before you really understand how blown up it can be.
The report was done 2 days ago. Wait a minute.
Yes.
They didn't see it. All they can do is...
Then how do they do a report on something they haven't seen? And why are you reading or quoting a report from people who haven't seen shit?
Take a guess. Now, if you take a...
Holy fuck, what?
Thing that took place 3 days ago.
I understand that, sir.
The report was done
So
2
what
days
is
ago.
your-
Wait a minute.
Yes.
They didn't see it. All they can do is take a guess.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's, ladies and gentlemen, Tulsi Gabbard and the intelligence community of the United States. They didn't see it. All they can do is take a guess. That's all they can do.
Now, if you take a look at the pictures, if you take a look how it's all blackened, you know the fire and brimstone is all underground. Because
Oh, I see, where hell is, sure. The fire and brimstone. Did we get all the brimstone? I'm worried about Iran getting a brimstone weapon. Fucking brimstone. All right.
Because it's granite and it's all underground. You don't show it.
Sorry, is brimstone granite? Or is that or is it like, does brimstone cool and turn into granite?
But even there, with all of that being said, the whole area for 75 yards around the hole where it hit is black with fire.
All right. Black with fire.
They just explode.
Right.
The group that's run by this gentleman, in fact, you may want to talk about it for a second because we're going to issue a report. And I think it's not even a very exciting
Yes, Operation Black with Fire.
report at this point.
Jesus Christ, this is fucking stupid.
It's been obliterated, totally obliterated.
But it sounds like it didn't get obliterated. It transmuted into brimstone, which, if I recall, at least under D&D rules, has magic properties as well as destructive properties.
And they did a report, but it was...
They did?
Like, if you look at the dates, it's just a few days after it
Understood,
happened.
sir.
Yeah, nobody expects it to be before the actual explosion.
So they didn't see it. They said it may be very severe.
Understood.
Go ahead.
Do you have a message for the intelligence community, though, in terms of unvarnished information getting to you, that it's not...
I don't really have a message. I would say issue the report when you know what happened. I wouldn't say that it could be severe or maybe not. They use the word severe. It could be severe or maybe...
Or maybe not.
It's not.
And
so people like you picked up and said, oh, it's not severe.
We're just
no, the report was not a complete report. Yeah, the message was probably wait till you know the answer before you...
And sir, did you not have a public component to your Zelensky meeting for a tactical reason with President Putin?
Let him answer this one.
Hello, Mr. Secretary.
Yeah. There's a
This is about to get dumber, if you can believe that.
reason the president calls out fake news for what it is. These pilots, these refuelers, these fighters, these air defenders, the skill and the courage it took to go into enemy territory flying 36 hours on behalf of the American people and the world to...
Dude, they didn't paratroop into the fucking place. Nobody's taking that away from them, but they were almost in low Earth, they were practically in fucking space.
Take out a nuclear program is beyond what anyone in this audience can fathom.
No, it isn't. They are all capable of fathoming it. They're reporters that cover NATO, you tit.
And then the instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times, is to try to find a way to spin it.
They heard the report that said they weren't sure that it actually did what you said it did. And it sounds like you guys are trying to fucking sell this shit because the facts don't line up. The more pissy you get, the more everybody goes, oh, they missed. They fucking missed.
For their own political reasons to try to hurt President Trump.
Why would it? If he nailed it, it was perfect, and they hit it, and it's obliterated, and it's all been turned into brimstone, what the fuck are you worrying about? Just go, don't worry about it, you'll see. We got it. We really believe we got it. Jesus.
Or our country. They don't care what the troops think. They don't care
what difference does it make. The troops are supposed to do their job. They don't have to think anything.
what the world thinks. They want to spin it to try to make him look bad based...
He already looks bad. He looks like shit.
Based on a leak. Of course, we've all seen plenty of leakers. And what do leakers do?
They tell the truth. They leak things that are actually true because you can't leak a lie.
They have agendas.
Yeah, and that agenda is to let out an uncomfortable truth, apparently, that contradicts the bullshit story that you're selling.
And what do? Do they share the whole information or just the part that they want to introduce?
Well, I don't know if they can disseminate classified information. They can just relate the tenor of something and still be within their legal rights.
When they introduce that preliminary...
But that's what you said. You're the one who said it was obliterated, which sounds like you're taking this report that said it may have been very severe, not obliterated, but very severe, or not, and you're leaking by disseminating one particular angle. And there is a contradictory angle to this. Listen to me talking to this asshole like there's a serious conversation happening here. I don't know what's wrong with me. I must be tired.
A preliminary report that's deemed to be a low assessment. Do you know what a low assessment means?
Yes, it's the same way you were vetted for this job.
Low confidence.
Uh-huh. Right, like in Trump's belief about his own ability to maintain an erection.
In the data in that report. And why is there low confidence?
Because you haven't done the research.
Because all of the evidence...
If it's low confidence, do you have high confidence that it was obliterated? Or are you just counting on it?
Of what was just bombed by 12 30,000-pound bombs?
Right, but if the shit wasn't there, who cares? You just bombed a chunk of the desert.
He's buried under a mountain, devastated and obliterated. So if you want to make an assessment of what happened at Fordo, you better get a big shovel and go.
Or you could go get a big shovel and then prove that you actually did what you said you were doing.
Really deep, because Iran's nuclear program is obliterated. And somebody somewhere is trying to leak something to say, oh, with low confidence, we think maybe it's moderate. Those that drop the bombs precisely in the right place.
Yeah, how do you know it's the right place is the point? If the shit got moved or it wasn't there to begin with, you hit a building. I'd have no doubt you devastated whatever the fuck you hit. The question is, was the shit there? Had they already moved it? Because this dipshit told them that it was coming.
Know exactly what
he literally said Iran knew we were coming.
Happened when that exploded. And you know who else knows? Iran. That's why they came to the table right away, because their nuclear capabilities have been set back beyond what they thought were possible.
Or they know that he's so desperate for a win that they could just play along, and they have all their nuclear stuff moved, and he just dropped sanctions, and it was that fucking easy.
Because of the courage of a commander-in-chief who led...
He didn't fly the fucking plane himself, and he looks like he's about to doze off, asshole.
Our troops, despite with the fake...
This was supposed to be cool, by the way. That's the look on his face is like, this was supposed to be awesome, and now I'm still catching shit.
News wants to say.
This job sucks.
But you're not disputing the report said what it said, even though it was initial.
The report said what it said, and it was fine. It was severe, they think, but they had no idea. They should.
Then why are you? Then it's not a report. It's is the Pentagon producing op-eds?
They've issued a report until they did, but we've gotten the information. I think.
Dear Penthouse, I never thought this would happen to me. They call me Old Bunker Buster.
He said it better than you can say it. And, you know...
Sorry, who? Hegseth? Wait, he said it better than you can say it? He's the one who actually knows this, or supposed to.
We've gotten the information. I think Pete said it better than you can say it. And
Pete said it better than he can say it. Low bar, I guess.
And, you know...
sorry. He said it better than himself?
You should be proud, especially you, should be proud of those pilots. And
yeah, stop hiding behind the pilots, asshole.
You shouldn't be trying to demean them.
No,
those pilots flew at great risk, a big chance that they'd never come back home and see their husbands or their wives. Let me just tell you, you and NBC, fake news, which is one of the worst, and CNN, New York Times, are all bad. They're sick. There's something wrong with them. But you know what? You should be praising those people instead of trying to find some. By trying to go and get me, you're hurting those people.
Yeah, he's just hiding behind the troops. Hey, asshole, this is what a commander-in-chief goes through. This is your responsibility. This was your plan. They did their part. And if they missed because you told the Iranians it was coming, that's not their fucking fault. You undermined them. You put them in this position.
Well, they were devastated. You know, I got a...
Yeah, I'm sure they're really upset.
Call from Missouri, great state.
The whole state?
That I won 3 times by a lot. And I got a call that the pilots and the people on the plane were devastated because they were
they obliterated?
Trying to minimize.
So they're probably fine.
The attack. And they all said it was hit. But we don't think it was really maybe hit that badly.
No. Nobody questions that what they dropped the bombs on wasn't fucked up. The question was, did they move the shit because you gave them a heads up? And were there more places? So if they hit 3 pieces, of the puzzle and there's 6 or 10 of them, then the program goes on uninterrupted.
And they were devastated. They put their lives on the line and then...
Right, for your stupid plan, which you cannot verify actually worked.
They have... And I'm not referring to you, but real scum,
Why not?
Scum come out and write reports that are as negative as they could possibly be.
They're not as negative as they could possibly be. I think all these reporters aren't telling the truth about this. First of all these pilots are weak and queer and vegetarians, and they all wear pink outfits while they're fighting, and the airplanes suck. And they missed when they were trying to hit it, and they just landed on like baby formula factories and shit like that, and they managed to only kill the pretty children and leave the ugly ones alive. Like the worst they could possibly be. Jesus Christ. It's the lack of imagination that upsets me.
It should be the opposite.
Everything's got to... By the way, he does this a bunch, and it's getting worse. It's just the opposite. They should do the opposite. This should be the opposite. Let me just binary the fuck out of this.
You should make them heroes and heroines. You should make them really people that... They were so devastated when they heard this news. And you know what they said? One of them, I spoke to one of them, said...
One of them?
Sir, we hit the site. It was perfect. It was dead on.
Right. That's not the problem. The problem is, did you give Iran a heads up, which it seems like you did, and they moved their shit, or you only hit 3 out of the 7 sites, and there's still 4 sites where they can continue to build a weapon. And now that they're going, oh yeah, we totally, uncle, you've just moved on, drop sanctions, they can sell oil. If they want a nuclear bomb, they'll have it in a year because you've basically called it off.
Because they don't understand fake news, because they have a normal life, except they have to fly very big, very fast planes. But it's a shame. You should be making them heroes. All right, in the back. Go ahead, back, white, yeah. White jacket, yeah. Go ahead, give him a mic. Hello.
Deborah Haynes from Sky News.
Good.
Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that?
Sky News is sort of the Fox News of Australia.
But do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend themselves, defend Europe on their own?
I think they need help a little bit at the beginning, and I think they'll be able to, and I think they're going to remember this day. And this was a big day for NATO. You know, this was a very big day. They took it. One of the gentlemen said, you know what? We've been trying to raise money raise the rate for 30 years, he said, 20 years, from almost the beginning.
And who knew? All you had to do was endanger the lives of everyone in Europe. And all of a sudden, they're like, oh, shit, we need to put more money in.
And he's been there for a long time. He said, until you came along, it never happened. What you did is amazing. It's been sort of an amazing day for a lot of reasons, but also for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think they can do it without you, though, in the future? Can they do it without
ask Mark.
States?
I mean, you have to ask Mark, okay? So we're heading back. I want to thank these 2 gentlemen behind me. They're incredible people. Both of them, they've done a fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
Susie's in the front.
Fantastic, everything fantastic.
And she's done great. And Monica, thank you very much. That was quite an exciting time.
Monica Crowley, I think is like, she's his like social attaché or social concierge, where she's the one who arranged for him to stay at the king's house and have breakfast and all that kind of shit. She does that kind of like make his life fancy. That's the get down. And then Susie Wiles is basically the whip cracker. If anything, if there's a shadow president, it's her.
We're going to be heading back. We'll be back soon, and we'll see you in Washington, D.C. Remember this: we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, hottest like a shitstorm. That's it. Thank you guys, by the way, for the super chats today. I'm gonna bow out a little early by a couple of minutes and just rest, because rather than get into another clip that will take me hours to do. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be doing the show from LA because we're heading in the morning. So I hope I get some sleep. Is it too much to ask to just get a nap? I'm actually, it's funny, but I'm actually pretty good. I'm still standing, which is shocking. Anyways, much love to you guys. I gotta go feed the fam. And then I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. This is House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the show. All right, I'm out.
News, laughs, and righteous sass kicks face. shy. Subscribe now or blink and cry.